I am not inside enjoying Horror Unleashed right now because my camera. The reason why there's no line for this haunt is because they're on some sort of delay, and they said 10 minutes and then they told me 15 minutes. It's 9:10 and it's closed. Monsters is closed and Texas Chainsaw is also not letting anyone in right now. Hello my dirty little dumplings and welcome back to Brian Abroad. Recently I had the opportunity to visit Universal Horror Unleashed, Universal Studios' latest offering in themed entertainment. Located in Area 15 in Las Vegas, Universal Horror Unleashed boasts 4 haunted houses, themed food and drinks, and live entertainment. Now, originally, I wasn't planning on presenting this video in this format. What I hoped to do was come to you live from the event and check in after each haunted house that I did so that I could give you my feedback and my honest opinion on it. Unfortunately, Universal Horror Unleashed does not allow any sort of camera inside the venue, which you'll see in a minute caused a huge fiasco for me right from the start. And it was just too dark to film myself talking on my iPhone while I was at the event. So I'm gonna be doing things a little bit differently. I'm gonna be showing you everything that I filmed while I was at Horror Unleashed, and I'm gonna cut in here and there to give some feedback and share my honest opinions about what I experienced while I was there. And I don't wanna say too much right now because you're about to see everything that I experienced in just a second. So with all of that out of the way, roll that beautiful bean footage. Halloween is coming early because today I am here in Las Vegas at Universal Studios' newest offering, Universal Horror Unleashed. The techno that's blasting out here is really putting me in the mood for some scares. So if you've been following my channel at all, you know that I am a Halloween fanatic. I used to work in a haunted house for many, many years when I still lived in the States. Every year, I always fly back with my friends to Orlando to go to Halloween Horror Nights, and I'm super excited to get in there and check out what Universal has in store for us at Horror Unleashed. The gate looks super awesome. There's not a whole lot going on outside in terms of horror, but there is a Mr. Piggy's Ice Scream, which looks very Halloween Horror Nights coded. Let's take a look at the menu. I mean, everything looks delicious, but nothing is going to beat human scent to peach. Because of the music that's playing out here, there's literally like no place quiet to film this, so hopefully you can hear me. But I just saw some people coming out and I said like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Like, how was it? How do you feel about it? And they were like, yeah, it's really good. And I'm wearing a Horror Night shirt from last season. She's like, oh, you've been to Horror Night, so you know how it goes. The mazes are a little bit shorter, but they're really, really good. They make up for it in quality. And I asked, do you feel there was enough actors inside? And she said, yeah, definitely. You're really gonna like it. So let's go ahead inside and get started here. Okay, so super fun update for you all. I am not inside enjoying Horror Unleashed right now because my camera has a mount so that I can actually hold it, because GoPro doesn't have, like, who's gonna hold a GoPro free-handed? And I know there's signs on the outside of the building like no selfie stick. Okay, that's fine. I was trying to find this information online before I came here, but a lot of the policies online are not updated with what you can and can't do and what you can bring and cannot bring. And so I'm trying to explain that to them and they were like, well, our only option is lockers, but we don't have any yet. Cool. And then she's like, I can take you outside where it says no selfie sticks. And I said, I know that it says it outside. And they're like, just leave it in your car. And they're like, I was like, I'm a tourist. I don't have a car. I'm staying at a hotel 20 minutes away. And my ticket is for 7 o'clock. So they're like, they're clueless. They have no idea what to do. And they're not very nice. So I ran to Omega Mart and I'm gonna try to leave my stuff that I can't bring there, which is just this. But they close, I think, at like 10, which is also when Horror Unleashed closes. So I guess I'm gonna have to like run and hope that I make it before they lock the doors, because I have to leave at 4 in the morning to go back to China. Awesome. Okay, second fun update. I ran all the way back to Omega Mart. I was able to put my stuff in a locker. They close at 10 at night and my flight, I have to leave at like 4. So if I don't make it back on time. I will lose my GoPro, my memory card, and anything that I filmed on that memory card during this trip. Oh, and also, you need to fill out like your whole life. They want your name, they want your phone number, they want your address, they want your date of birth, where you have to scroll through the like Plinko wheel to find the Jurassic period when you were born, because you were born in the 80s. And so it wasn't quick. So right now, 7:05, missed my 7 o'clock time. Don't know if that matters or not, but I am running back through a construction area to get back to Universal. Maybe it would have been faster to take the plane. It's hot, it's 105 today. Just for the record, wanted to get that out there. My mouth, she's dry, y'all. Hair everywhere. Super fun. So when I was back in China, I was able to find the camera policy on the Universal Horror Unleashed website. At the time that I was in Vegas, I could not find this information, but apparently it is under the help tab on the website. In my mind, the camera policy is not really like a help situation. So I didn't even notice that, and I didn't think to look there. In my mind, you would think that if something is prohibited from entering the venue to the point where it would stop me from being allowed inside, that would kind of be like front page news. But apparently I was wrong. So is it my fault? Yeah, it is my fault. But is it also Universal's fault? In my opinion, yeah, it kind of is. That should be right there in the open.
No, nobody's gonna grab your testicles or anything.
Oh, look at this over here. Finally inside, guys. I got jump scared as soon as I walked in, but I wasn't filming at that time. There are scare actors right when you walk in, but I'm not sure if it's like a photo op or if they're walkarounds or what. Dr. Doom is on point today. There are walkarounds, which is a big improvement for Universal Studios. The theming is a little bit weird because there's like a very gothic sofa and backdrop, and then right next to it there's like oceanic lifesaver stuff, but then it's the entrance to Universal Studios Monsters, so it's a little bit like all over the place right now. As of right now, there's absolutely no line for any of the houses. I'm not sure if this is just the set or if it's a photo op where you can like lay on the operating table here, but it looks pretty cool. The bar looks super awesome. Also, I was just told that the reason why there's no line for this haunt is because they're on some sort of delay, and they said 10 minutes, and then they told me 15 minutes. So not really quite sure what that is, considering we have time tickets. We got Grandma over here waiting by the slab. Hi. I think in light of the fact that it's the anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that I will walk through this house first. Right out in front of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, they have this really awesome stage. It's kind of like the butcher shop. I bet it's a really, really cool place for one of the scare actors to wait. I'm not a fancy media person. I will not be able to film inside the haunt, but I will give you my full review on the way out. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was not a bad house by any stretch of the imagination, but my fear going into this, going into a year-round haunted house that just opened in the middle of August, was that these haunted houses were not going to have enough actors. And unfortunately, I would have to say that my fears were realized here because there definitely were not enough actors in this house. I was walking through by myself very slowly by all these doors and all these spots where I know that someone should have been popping out to scare me and nothing was happening. I was in the farmhouse. I was walking by the big silver door that everyone knows Leatherface will slide open and come out and grab you from behind. And I'm going so slow, like any second now,
Absolutely nothing. I'm in the hallways of the houses. I'm walking by door after door after door. Absolutely nothing. And the other thing that's a little bit weird is that the interactions with Leatherface are kind of few and far between. And the ones that you do have, he's kind of just standing there out in the open. So there's not a whole lot of surprise when Leatherface shows up. The first time you encounter him in the house, he's kind of like trapped behind furniture. There's like a long table and then there's like a little stool so that customers can't go behind to where Leatherface is. And he's just kind of standing there. And so he sees you and he's kind of like reaching over. But as soon as you enter that room, like he is right there, you can see him. So it's not, I don't know, it's just not as intimidating, I feel, as it could be, or as scary as it could be, or as surprising as it could be. There was one scene in The Haunt where you're walking forward and there's an open door and you can see like candles and bodies inside, but there's also a hallway down to the right and you're not really sure where you're supposed to go. But the open door almost makes it seem like you're supposed to go forward into this room. So you're walking closer and then all of a sudden one of the characters comes out and scares you off into the other direction. So I thought that that misdirection was pretty cool. And they were able to do a lot with this house. It follows a pretty linear path from the beginning of the film to the end of the film. So as soon as you enter into the queue line, they're playing the long intro to the film where the narrator is telling you about the horrible events of that day. You're in the cemetery where the body is dug up in the beginning of the film. Then you're at the gas station barbecue restaurant, and that's where you actually enter the haunted house. Then you're in the farmhouse where Leatherface is. At one point you're outside where he's chasing Sally around in the film. So it really covers the entire length of the film, except for the end basically with the truck. That's the only part that's really not included. So that part was really cool. And because they basically cover the whole film, it does feel really long and thorough. There's just not enough actors inside.
I'm gonna hop in line for Exorcist the Believer. I did this 2 years ago at HHN and I got kind of a bad run. There was really like no actors around. So hopefully this run is a little bit better.
To be honest, I don't really know what to say about Exorcist Believer. As a house, it's fine, but as an IP to base a house around, both at Halloween Horror Nights and then here in Las Vegas, it's just a very weird choice in my opinion, especially considering the reception of that film. I don't think it's been reviewed very highly. It absolutely does not hold a candle to the original film, which I'm a big fan of. And if you're somebody like me, you can't help but think about that as you're walking through and you're hearing The Body and the Blood 100 times. It's just not a great IP, and it's a strange choice for them to bring to Vegas, in my opinion. Maybe you love it. Maybe you love the movie. Maybe you love the house, and that's fine. I just don't. And at the end of the day, it's largely forgettable to me.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and head into Universal Monsters now.
Okay, so Universal Monsters was incredible. This kind of turned the experience around for me. I never got to go through the original house at Halloween Horror Nights, whatever year it was that it first appeared. And so maybe this is exactly the same and people have already done it and they're over it. But for me, I was walking through with the biggest smile on my face the entire time. There were parts where I was like running into certain Universal monsters and I was like clapping. I don't really know where that came from, and I don't think that the actors really knew what was wrong with me either, but I just couldn't help myself. Like, there was Dracula, there was Frankenstein, the mummies popping out left and right. I loved it. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm kind of a big fan of the Universal monsters. They're very classic. They feel very Halloween-y to me, and I just loved that house. It was so full of eye candy. It was done so well. They had the Phantom of the Opera's like chandelier crash through the ceiling in one of the rooms. It was just amazing. It was amazing. The only thing that I thought was a little bit strange is that in the Frankenstein room, it seems like there's a door that an actor needs to trigger so that it can open and close. And I don't know if they were having some sort of problem with the door, but basically the actor in that room couldn't really even act because he was trying to like stop people like, oh, wait here, the door is gonna open or whatever. And he's trying to open the door. Then he's telling people to go so that the next group can come in. And I was a little bit confused because I went through the door and then he said something to me. So I turned around and I was like, what? And then the door hit me. So that was a little bit weird. I'm not really sure what that was all about. But other than that, it was really an amazing haunted house.
There's a new addition to this area that wasn't here before. It looks very inconspicuous. There's a shipping and receiving clerk, but I'm not sure what her purpose is. She looks very busy though. Look at the stage for Jack. This is so awesome. I don't know what time they're doing this tonight or if they're even doing it tonight, but I would love to see Jack and Chance. Oh, this guy did not have a good time. This seems like an old school bozo mask. I appreciate the warning. This is the Jack's Alley eatery that they built. These are the different drinks here that they have at the bar. The Grave Robber sounds really good because I'm kind of a big fan of tequila, but I'm sure they're all really, really good. We have Jack's Juice, Bloodsucker, Harvester of Sorrow, Take a Chance, love it. This looks like Jack's head. Is Jack on the other side? Oh my gosh, can I take the menu home with me? Okay, the last haunted house of the night is Scarecrow the Reaping. We have a little bit of a contortionist performer out here. The line for this one is really long, and I was told that at 8:45, the last Jack and Chance show of the night will take place. And right now it's about 8:05. They were definitely having some sort of technical difficulty because they had the entrance rope closed and the line didn't move for like 10 or 15 minutes. But we seem to be back in business now.
So there was like a bit of a confusing situation with this haunted house. So this house seemed to be the busiest one all night. We were all lined up in a line outside of the line. And when you get to the front and the guy scans your tickets, he tells some people to go in and turn left, and he tells some people to go in and turn right. So it basically divides off into two separate queue lines that go around like a rectangular area full of corn stalks and scarecrows, okay? The problem though is that there's supposed to be some sort of rope pulled across so that when the two lanes come around and they meet, they do not interact with each other. But unfortunately, there was no rope pulled across. So people ahead of me were under the assumption that when the lines meet each other, it's up to the customers to sort of decide like, oh, okay, you go ahead of me and then I go and then this person goes here, and they're supposed to figure out like who gets to go when on their own. I was the one that went to the right, so I'm over here and I'm stuck behind people who are trying to merge into this lane basically, and no one's really letting us go. And there's a car right here to my right. And there's a lot of space. It looks like you're supposed to go around the car, but there's nobody really around to ask. And I was kind of afraid to leave the line because I didn't know if I'd be able to get back in afterwards. So I asked the people behind me like, hey, this doesn't really seem right. Can you hold my space so that I can go around the car and figure out if we're supposed to go over there? And they said yes. So I went over around the car, and sure enough, there's people in a line way ahead of us. So I had to go back and collect everybody from my line and lead them like a mother duckling so that we could join the rest of the queue line. So that part was a little bit chaotic, and everybody was definitely very, very confused, and there was nobody around to ask. But after that, this house was also very, very good. I never got a chance to go through the original at Halloween Horror Nights, and I was pretty pleased with this. I think the actors had really good timing. I think the costumes looked good. The scares looked good. The settings were amazing. At one point, you're walking around in this cornfield and there are scarecrows roaming around everywhere, and it's like really windy and kind of hard to see. It just looked really, really incredible. Now, other than the confusing line part at the beginning, there were two little things that I found a little bit not as good with this haunted house. The first is that, again, there are some very, very cool rooms and sets that you are walking through in this house, full of stuff and full of different areas where you're kind of like, oh, someone's definitely gonna come out and scare me here. And there are no actors in that room. And there's one part where you have to like walk in a semicircle around the perimeter of this giant room, and there's absolutely nobody inside. And this haunt I did do twice. The same areas that were empty the first time were empty the second time. So it just is a little bit disappointing when you're in this like amazing environment, but then nothing is actually happening. And then you kind of have to ask yourself, what is the point of this room? Why is it even here? Is it just that they don't have enough people to station in the different spots? Or is the point of the room just to slow the line down a little bit so that people aren't right on top of each other? Like, what is the point of this? Does it need to be here? The other thing that was a little bit weird is that there's a part with these like black hanging curtains. I think they might be like a cowhide kind of material. You're moving them out of the way so you can progress further into the haunt. And when you get to the last one, you need to turn to continue on the path. But the problem is that when you pull that last one over, you can't see that there is a jet black wall here in the darkness. So I went to go turn the corner and walked face first into the wall. So it's just like a little bit of a weird design choice by the creators, but maybe I'm just an idiot. So other than that, I really, really enjoyed this house. I enjoyed the effects. I enjoyed the environment, the atmosphere. I just wish there were like a few more actors inside. It's about 8:35 and Jack and Chance are gonna be performing at 8:45. I'm kind of the only one here. I probably look like a total idiot, but I really wanna make sure that I catch the show and I can see and hear everything before I leave. So I am basically front and center waiting for the show to start. All right, so I'm in the bar because they came and grabbed me and told me that the first part of the show actually starts in the bar. So here I am.
to raise the mouth to the King of Carnage himself! My Butcher of the Big Top, my Ringleader of Ruin, my Freak Show Flame, the one and only Jack the Clown!
It's good to be back! I hope you're ready for screams. I hope you're ready for carnage. I hope you're ready for some good old-fashioned murder. Because tonight, we're here to celebrate the kill. No one loves the kill more than my strumpet of screams. My mistress of malice, the queen of carnage herself. Give up the one and only Chad.
Thanks, Jackie boy. I do love murder.
The victims are getting feisty.
They're not victims. Not yet. Right now, the contestants.
Right. Congratulations, degenerates, because you lucky sacks of screen meat just stumbled into Chance's favorite little game. Stay or slay! Give them the rules, Chancey. I'll see you maniacs on the slay stage.
Vegas, baby! Ugh. Take him to the slate stage. Move!
Jack is back!
They're not victims! Well, yet. Right now, the contestants are gonna play my favorite game! Say it with me!
Stay or slay! That's right, welcome to the show, where we yank unsuspecting circus performers from the strip and force them to perform.
For their lives! Then what is he waiting for? Go!
Enough for ya!
I liked it. I only see victims to bottle and meat.
Oh, speaking of victims, it looks like this one's dying to perform.
Josh! They're not victims yet. Contestant 2 is dying to perform.
I hope it kills.
Go!
Can we kill somebody now?
I think they both deserve one final chance.
Oh, what do you think? If you want to see them perform for their lives one more time, scream out loud! Say, hell yeah, Jack! Hell yeah, Jack!
Give you a fighting chance. Don't say that I did nothing for you.
Let's do it for you! Say, hell yeah, Jack!
Hell yeah, Jack!
Now it's time for the best part.
Stay or slay!
Contestant number 1.
Stay or slay!
Are we ready? Slay! 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 And another slay!
Holy shit! You bloodthirsty monsters are as ruthless as I am!
Well, contestant number 2.
Slay! 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 And a perfect score, baby! Jackpot! Damn! Down like a sack of circus crap!
Game's over. Get off the stage! You wanna go paint the town red with what's left of those 2 victims?
Oh, you know it! Because Jack is back! And everyone's a victim! One more time for good measure, Vegas. Say, hell yeah, Jack!
Hell yeah, Jack! I love you! Jack and Chance just appeared above me and they said, "Hey, losers," and I looked immediately because I knew it was their voices and they were like, "Ah, how you looked." It was super funny. There's another bar inside with Blumhouse marketing and all kinds of photo ops set up as well. So this bar, the Premiere House, has a hostess outside and you need to get a table with her. They're closing soon and I'm not gonna be drinking anything, but I just wanted to walk around and take some video of the different kinds of photo ops that you can have here. They have a giant Blumhouse logo here, and then right above it is the sign for Horror Unleashed Las Vegas. There's also a whole display here for the black phone. If you pick up the phone, is anyone there? Hello? It's for you. I feel like this would be the perfect spot for Megan to actually be for photo ops, so I'm wondering if that's the plan in the future. Otherwise, it's kind of weird to just stand here, even just to take a photo, when there's no Megan. I see Megan in her box over here. So I was gonna try to go through Universal Monsters again since I have an unlimited ticket, and it's 9:10 and it's closed and no one's here. 50 minutes early. So Monsters is closed and Texas Chainsaw is also not letting anyone in right now, and they said we'll be back at 9:30. It's very weird to me. I guess I'm gonna try to hit Scarecrow the Reaping one more time before I have to leave and go get my stuff. Okay, Universal Monsters is back in business, so I'm gonna try to hop in one more time before I have to leave, but I'm really cutting it close. Okay, so that line is not moving. They haven't started scanning any tickets yet, so I think I'm gonna check out the gift store first and then go get my stuff. They have a bunch of Bates Motel stuff here, which is kind of interesting because Psycho has no presence here whatsoever. So maybe that's something that might have a presence here in the future. We have Jack and Chance coasters. That's pretty cool. We also have Chance's outfit here and jacket. Oh, it's a Jack jacket. A jacket, if you will. Look at this Texas Chainsaw jacket. That's pretty cool. They have some figures here. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface. All kinds of hats and cups from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Lots of Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff. That's cool. A Bates Motel bathrobe is such a perfect idea. Like you're in the hotel relaxing and then, well, you know what happens. We have a Horror Unleashed hoodie that says your deepest fears are closer than you think. Not sure who that's supposed to be though. This is the back of the jacket. They do have a Jack t-shirt, but it looks kind of like childish with the flames on it. It's something I would think was cool when I was like 8. There's a whole line of Scarecrow the Reaping merchandise. We have like a burlap tote bag. That's really cool. We have the Scarecrow shirt here. Jack also has some type of bag, but it's very small. We've got a Horror Unleashed notebook. Oh, I think that's supposed to be like Jack's silhouette. That's cool. They have a Horror Unleashed sleeveless shirt. Wow, the store is huge. It just goes on and on and on. There's tons of t-shirts over here. Texas Chainsaw. Belief is real? Is this The Exorcist? I have no idea. What else? Psycho. That's Texas Chainsaw. Nope, that's Scarecrow the Reaping. Texas Chainsaw again. Texas Chainsaw Spirit jersey. Mostly just the same stuff that's over there. What is this white and red one though? I don't know if I've seen this one yet. Oh, it's Chucky. What about this red one? Oh, nice. It's Dracula. Is this the Dracula from the Monsters Unchained ride? Oh, they have a whole bunch of Universal Studios monster stuff. Got what I'm guessing is Bride of Frankenstein. We have this really cool monster shirt. Is it just Wolfman? Oh, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula. Some really cool displays up here. There's a very extensive Child's Play collection. It's like a whole wall of Child's Play merchandise. There's all kinds of water bottles here. Frankenstein, The Exorcist. Imagine just like casually walking around with like a demonic water bottle. All right, and now I'm running back to Omega Mart to get my stuff before they close. While I'm walking over, I just want to say that I have a lot of thoughts about what I experienced at Horror Unleashed tonight. Some of them good, some of them not so good. I was thinking about naming this video Universal Chaos Unleashed because I experienced several things that just don't really make a lot of sense to me. It was also really, really dark in there, so I didn't really even bother checking in very much because I knew that nobody would be able to see me, and they don't want you to bring cameras in, so all I have is my phone. So when I go back to the hotel, we're gonna talk for a few minutes about Horror Unleashed. We are back at the lockers. H5A3. Camera acquired.
So I just want to talk a little bit about the good things and the bad things about Universal Horror Unleashed. First of all, I will say that I think Universal was able to do a lot with this space. I think the haunts are mostly well designed. They look really good. They're very immersive. The bars look really good. It's nice that they have some roaming characters, which is something that I have always felt that Halloween Horror Nights is desperately in need of, because there's nothing to do while people are waiting in lines. And speaking of the lines here are themed to the haunted houses. So you're not just waiting in a sea of ropes, standing behind Men in Black, looking at a white tent for 45 minutes while you're waiting for your turn to enter the haunted house. You're immersed in the environment right from the minute that you get through. I do feel that there should be actors in those areas, and it almost feels like that might be the end goal. But as of right now, there were no actors in any of the queue lines, but the queue lines were themed with props and set dressings, and they looked really, really good. There are also a lot of random surprises here. A performer might come out and do a dance or a contortionist routine for 10 or 15 minutes and then disappear. Megan will come out and dance and take photos with you. A new walk around character that you didn't notice before will appear and start walking around and interacting with the guests. There's lots of little surprises around every corner. And as far as the houses go, Universal Monsters and Scarecrow the Reaping were definitely huge standouts for me. Another good thing about Horror Unleashed is that they don't conga line you through all the houses like they do at HHN. So I was able to do 3 out of 4 of the houses completely by myself. Now, unfortunately, there are also a lot of problems with this space. The first is that the staff there were actually pretty rude, and the security check-in in the beginning was like the worst TSA experience that you've ever had. Like, people are yelling. It just wasn't a nice experience. When I had my camera with me and they're like, yeah, you can't bring that in, I was like, yeah, but I checked online and I couldn't find anything about it. Like, is there anywhere that I can leave it? Like, I don't need to bring the camera in, right? Where can I leave it? We don't know. We'd give you a locker, but we don't have them. Okay, how is that helpful? And then the other thing is, like, when I was like, I couldn't find this information anywhere online, she's like, let me take you outside so you can see it on the wall. Girl, I am already here. How is that helpful to me? How is it helpful for me to find it out as I'm entering the building and I've already traveled 20 minutes from my hotel to get here? And they kept saying, like, well, put it in your car. And I was like, I don't have a car, I'm a tourist. And they were like, oh, as if no tourist has ever come to Las Vegas before. It was just a very strange experience. There are absolutely not enough actors working in these spaces. And in the haunts, there are a lot of dead spaces because of this. Also, it is nice that they have walk around characters, but I need to be honest and just tell you that I didn't really understand a lot of the characters that I encountered. There was a woman dressed as a grandma, and she wasn't scary. She just looked like a grandma. She wasn't really doing anything. She was just standing around. So at one point I walked by and I said, hi, grandma. And she said, and that was it. So I didn't really understand like what her character was. There was another woman in like a shipping dock crate, like writing paperwork, and she was just dressed like an old-timey worker lady. Like, she kind of looked like Rosie the Riveter. And I walked up to her booth and I said, so what are you writing? And she said, none of your business. And that was the end of that interaction. So I didn't really understand that character either. Plus, she was standing next to the circus stage where Jack and Chance perform. And so I didn't really understand like what the shipping and receiving aspect had to do with Jack and Chance's clown stage. The theming in that place is kind of like a Halloween Horror Nights flea market. There's just stuff everywhere. There's clown stuff from Jack in the line for Scarecrow the Reaping. Out in front of Universal Monsters, there's some like nautical stuff and a lifesaver. What does that have to do with Universal Monsters? There's just like little random things everywhere, and I don't always necessarily understand like how it belongs in the place that it is.
If something weird is over here or something odd that shouldn't fit in that world is there, it pulls me out of that world and then I can't be immersed. And I didn't want anything like that in this building.
Also, I'm just going to be completely honest with you all. The Jack and Chance show was a little bit cringy to me. And when it came to the two performers who were supposed to be performing for their lives, I thought the Hooper was really entertaining and his performance was really effective. But I wasn't quite sure like what the other guy was doing. Like interpretive breakdancing. It kind of reminded me of, what was her name? Railgun? That girl who went to the Olympics for breakdancing but doesn't actually know how to breakdance. Like he was just doing some weird stuff and the audience was definitely like, okay. The way that Universal is handling the breaks for the actors is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that they need to close 2 haunted houses at a time for 20 or 30 minutes is so crazy to me, especially like I had 7 o'clock tickets and the haunted houses are only open until 10. And I bought unlimited access tickets that were like $140. And I was only able to do one haunt more than once because every single time that I went back to Monsters or went back to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it was closed. And sometimes there would be someone outside who would say, oh yeah, maybe come back in 10 or 15 minutes. And then other times there was nobody anywhere. And so it was really hard to tell if it was closed for right now or if it was closed for the whole rest of the night. Another issue is that because they kept closing all the houses and I was in a rush to try to do all of them before I had to leave, I did not get a chance to eat or drink anything while I was at the venue. I'm not an expert. I don't own a haunted house. I've never managed a haunted house, but I worked in haunted attractions for 10 years when I was living in the United States. And if I happen to go back in October and have extra time, I'll still go and do a night here and there. And the way that we did breaks is that one person basically breaks another person. So, okay, I'm covering this area. You go on your break, take 20 minutes. When you come back, this person will go. And so there's only a few people out at a time, not a whole house of 20 or 30 people. And I don't know like why they don't do things more that way, and then they just have a few empty spaces in the haunt rather than having to close the entire haunt for 20 or 30 minutes at a time, especially when that is not advertised as being the case on the website at all. There's no warning that says, hey, just so you know, you might only have 3 hours, and during that 3-hour period, all 4 haunts are going to be closed at different times, multiple times per night, so you actually won't be able to go in as freely as you think you will be. I think that brings me to kind of like another issue. This is not just a Universal issue, but it's something that I've noticed a lot with Universal the past couple years, is that when their creatives do panels at horror conventions or they do their Universal podcast where they talk about the different experiences that they offer, they talk themselves up so much. This is going to be like something you've never seen before. We're changing the game. It's going to blow you away. It's going to be the most amazing thing ever. We work so hard. And I feel like there's almost like a level of arrogance there. Like, absolutely, they're creative people. They put on great events. They have great attractions. But the thing is that sometimes they miss the mark. And I think this is one of those times where they kind of miss the mark, and no one is ever going to come forward and say, hey, you know what? We maybe opened this attraction a little bit prematurely, or we didn't offer you the experience that we promised. So we're going to try a little bit better, and we're going to work a little bit harder, and we're going to turn this around. Nobody will take accountability for that part of this experience for customers. And I don't know, I feel like customer service and company transparency is kind of like at an all-time low. It's not just a Universal issue, it's many, many companies, but the difference between a lot of those companies and Universal is that those other companies don't always talk themselves up as much as Universal Studios does in their different media presentations. And I mean, the truth is that the past couple things that I've done at Universal in the States haven't really been that great. This wasn't that great. Halloween Horror Nights last year was not that great. Will I still fly 7,000 miles from China to America to go to Halloween Horror Nights again this year? Yes, because I do genuinely love this event, even if it's not always the best. And I think that Universal knows that people are going to keep coming back no matter what. So maybe they don't always feel the need to change things very much. I do feel like this year they seem like even they kind of know that last year wasn't that good and they're trying to work on it a little bit. That's good, but they also need to work on Horror Unleashed a little bit. My advice is that if you are really interested in checking this out, that you wait until maybe October. Go during October when it's Halloween season and interest is kind of at an all-time high and people want to do Halloween-y things, because right now they definitely have a lot of things that they need to figure out. And also, maybe this is just my impression, but it wasn't very busy that night, and the people who were there, they didn't necessarily seem to be like super into it. I didn't get the impression that I was with like Halloween Horror Nights fans or like haunted house fans or haunted house people. A lot of people in line, like I was overhearing conversations, they weren't really even talking about the houses that they did. They weren't really even like remarking on the scenery around us. They were just talking about like their personal lives and what's going on with their friends. And I didn't even really hear a lot of screaming, to be honest. It just felt a little bit weird. Like the energy was kind of weird. And so maybe it would be better to go in October when people are more in the mood and maybe more people are going and Universal is making more money so that they can hire more actors to fill some of those empty spots in the different houses. And they've figured out themselves and their policies a little bit more, and maybe they have lockers at this point for you to store your stuff in. And I just think you will have a much better time if you don't fly from the East Coast to the West Coast before you go back to China like I did and make it a point to visit this and then find out that it's kind of very strange at the moment. I do have kind of a weird feeling that this might not last that long, and then the Chicago location that they've already announced might not even open. It's just the feeling I got based on the experience that I had, the level of crowd that was there for opening week, and just the logistical issues that I encountered and the lack of actors in some of the houses. It just might not make it if they don't fix some of these things and draw more people in and create more positive experiences. I'm not an expert. I don't own a haunt. I'm not a haunt manager, but from working in haunts, I know the nature of a year-round horror attraction. If you have like a 365-day-a-year Halloween store, or you have a 365-day-a-year haunted house, the harsh truth of that is that most people really just care about this kind of stuff in October, unless you're like a Halloween fanatic like me. And so these businesses typically don't do very well, even when they are run very, very well. So I do feel like there is a danger here that this might not last forever, but I would still recommend that you don't rush to go until maybe Halloween time. I don't know. The truth is that I really wanted to love this, and at the end of the night, I just didn't, which is why I chose not to buy anything from the gift store, because I just had a hard time with the idea of advertising this on my physical human body. But hopefully Universal can turn this around and make some good changes so that it will be successful and it will continue to exist for years and years to come. With that all being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this one here on my channel, please remember to click that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video here on my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.